All right. So good morning, everyone. Good evening, depending on where you are. Happy to see you all and excited for today's event. Today we touch one of the most important, crucial things of our lifetime, and that's talent. Talents are inborn, but it takes courage to put them into real, sophisticated, but also practical. And I'm really glad. I don't want to take much of our time. I still always hear our guest speaker. I would want her to dive into it and welcome you and welcome her, Laura. Thank you so much for making time to meet and share your expertise. You are most welcome, and I think you can take it over from here.
Thank you so much, Inaka. Thank you everyone for having me today. I just wanted to say that take the time to say how I am impressed of this big community of young professional student and mid professional, mid senior professional. So my name is Lowa Lumbala. I am born in Congo, Kinshasa, and I came in Canada around 90, I want to say 97. And since then, I went to school here, my elementary and high school, and did my bachelor degree in public administration. For those who know Canada a little bit, I grew up in Quebec, in Montreal, and then when I wanted to do my bachelor degree, I moved in Ottawa, and I did my bachelor degree in Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada. As most of people who live in Ottawa, I work for the federal government of Canada. I am acting manager for HR. The name of my team is a workforce optimization team. So basically what we do is we help the whole HR branch optimize the way they provide advice and guidance to the client, which are a hiring manager within the organization. And at the same time, we support senior leaders, the executive in driving the organization during different time of government. Right now, our parliament is prorogue, which means that nothing is happening in parliament right now. So it's not usual. Therefore, HR is there to support everyone. So today I took the time to prepare a little presentation. It's nothing fancy, something really simple, just to help us have this conversation. If I may share my screen, it will just take me a few moments. Sharing the screen. Okay, perfect. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dream. So I'm not a professional in presenting. I do present often in my work, but it's mostly to talk about the organization. But today I'd like to have a presentation where everyone participates. So in order to do that, I will have some questions that I'll ask, and I'd like to see the audience respond. So my first question is, what does success look like for you in the next 5 years? So everyone is going through a different journey, and everyone's definition of success is also different. Yesterday, when I was talking with the founder, we were talking about the definition of success and also the impact of our identity with achieving success. So a lot of time in Canada, for example, being part of the minority, meaning if you are Black, if you are from South Asia, even North Asia, if you're not Caucasian, this definition, this which is part of your identity, will have an impact in you being able to achieving the fullness of your goal, the fullness of what you see is a success. And sometimes in some countries in Africa, it's also being a woman, trying to reach those goals where in order to get there, you need sometimes to be married, or you need to have a certain age to be able to receive value of, or yes, receive value of what you say or what you build. So for you, what does success looks like in 5 years? And keep in mind just what I said about trying to get to that success. I'm gonna open the chat and I would like to see if there's any answer. My voice, are you able to hear my voice now better?
Yeah.
Let's see the phone. Okay, perfect.
Yes, we can.
So I'm experiencing network. Oh, sorry. So if anyone has any successes getting the right thing done. Hmm. And I'm gonna try to speak slowly because I know that I sometimes I speak really, very fast. So I'll try to slow down a little bit. So what does success? So in the meantime, I'd like to ask the founder, what is success for you? What does it look like? What does success look like for you in 5 years?
I think getting your purpose into use. I think because success might mean different things. Because as an entrepreneur, success would mean you multiply many millions of dollars. As a spiritual leader, will be people returning to God. As a public servant, seeing improvement of people. So success is really getting your purpose. Whatever your purpose is getting it done. And yeah.
I really like your answer. I'm gonna read a little bit of what I'm seeing in the chat. So Sevelin said that it means achieving personal growth, career stability, making a meaningful impact in this field. I like this answer too. In the next 5 years, I think I'm reading Shiemika. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. In the next 5 years, success for me is not just about achieving milestone, but about igniting a movement. I envision myself standing at the front part of a global revolution where innovation and compassion converge to transform lives. Beautiful. So success for me is not just about personal achievement, but about leaving an indelible mark on humanity. It is about being a catalyst for a brighter, more equitable future. And I'm just getting started. I love this. Financial freedom and inspiring others to realize the leadership. Really love this, Elizabeth. Being able to help others. Yes, this is really great too. Ashin Nafi. Walking in and living up my purpose. Arlena. Success to me means achieving your goals. Yes. I really love those questions. And please continue to add them because this is what I enjoy when I do this presentation, hearing from other, even though I'm the speaker. So I'd like to talk a little bit about about my success story as of today. When I look, I have Anthony who raised his hand. I'll just let Anthony speak before. Uh,
Yes.
you raised your hand?
Yeah. I was just trying to answer about the point of success. Like,
Yes, go ahead.
yeah, according to me, success is like achieving your goals because as a human, you might set some goals that you want to achieve in the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And success is like achieving those goals. Like, if you have said, like, I want to construct a house or I want to make some savings, then you end up making like, for instance, you said, I want to save $2,000. Then at the end of the year, you realize yourself achieving that. You have saved 2,000 or $2,500. And then you might have already built your house that you want, or you have gotten yourself a job promotion from your workplace. Those are success, like achieving the goals you set. Your career milestone, such as promotion or starting a successful business. For others, for some time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your answer. And I like this answer. It's having a specific goal for in 5 years. Okay. So, like I was saying, so I'd like to share a little bit about success in the sense of me, Lowa of today, is Lowa of today a success for Lowa of 10 years ago? So 10 years ago, I was about to finish university. I think I finished university a little bit later. It took me 2 extra years because I met my husband. We had a baby. I needed to slow down in order to take care of my family. And then I went right back to school once my son was 11 months. And while I was going to school, I was studying public administration, but I didn't really know what it was. So my goal there at that moment, my success would be to just have a degree. And while going to school, I had the opportunity to work part-time in the public service. And the place where I was working, the job that I was doing at the beginning was in line with what I was studying. So that was really a great opportunity for me. However, because there was a budget change, I encountered challenge my manager encountered challenge in order to keep me. And she really, really appreciated me. So she started sharing my resume with every manager that she could find. She sent cold email, meaning gathering a lot of email address from different manager within Government of Canada and sharing my CV. And then I was able to get within 24 hours 5 interview and choose the job that I wanted to do, work at the organization that I wanted to work, which was really great. I had a really great team, met a lot of young professional, mostly students. We were able to build a community out of it. However, the work wasn't as meaningful as the one that I had before. And then I started feeling like this job was helping me pay my bills, but it wasn't helping me grow. And my vision of success at that time became different because it wasn't about just having a part-time job in the Government of Canada. It wasn't just about getting a degree, because now I understood that I understood my skills, I understood the workforce, and by being part of the workforce, even as a student, I was able to envision a goal for me. And when I was looking around on the floor, and I worked in HR, I always been working in HR, I didn't see a lot of Black person in a leadership role. And I remember the first time I saw a Black man being an executive, and his face stayed in my mind forever. And I went to him and I asked him politely if I could have a coffee with him. And I think he understood that I was impressed of seeing a Black person being an executive. And in Government of Canada, when you're executive, there's 5 levels of executive. And he was at the first level, but it was still an executive. And then it gave me hope and empowered me also to enlarge the vision of what is success for me. And from there, I started having conversation, trying to understand his world, but him by being much more wiser, with much more experience, he was able to give me hope, equip me just at the level that I needed, because later on, by growing career, then understand there's much more challenge. And from that was kind of the first experience of having a mentor that I wasn't even aware that was mentorship. And creating a community of young professional helped me also in a way to help me build resilience. Because as most of us know, when we're young, we have energy and we believe that we can achieve everything, and just give me the work, I'll get it done. But that's not the reality. Sometimes you need experience. Sometimes you need to take your time, slow down, and understand that if you don't do that, you'll make some mistakes. So that's a little bit of my story. So today, when around that time, what I did is I wrote down on a journal that by the time that I'm 30 years old, I want to be a senior HR advisor. And I really, really worked to get there. And by the time I was 30 years old, I became a supervisor, so above the senior advisor. So when I look back, I'm like, wow, I reached beyond my success of based on the timeline. But how did I get there? What made me how was I able to move so fast and achieve so much? What was the price of it? And what are the challenges that I've encountered? And what was the mistake that I also did that helped me become the person that I am today? So that is part of breaking opportunities that shape your path. So when I asked about what is your what is success for you in 5 years, and we all gave different perspective of what it is. When you go back to that question again, when you go back to your own answer, for those who shared, for those who didn't share, how can you use a SMART goal breakdown in order to achieve your goal, in order to achieve your success? So now that you know what is success for you in 5 years from today, do you need to clarify, redefine the goal in order to get there? And my first person that I asked is the founder. So if you were to refine success for you in 5 years, what is the specific goal?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Setting smart goals. I think when you're setting smart goals, you have to define two things to me. The power of why. Why are you doing that? I think when you ask yourself the question as to why, then you give it broadens the scope. And number two, I think, is how. So you have to answer those two questions. Why? For example, I see in the chat, people want to to achieve financial freedom. Why do you want to achieve financial freedom? Is it just to show off some good cars and enjoy a Rolls Royce and have a good time at the beach? Or it's something. So I really don't care whatever your why, but it has to be tangible. And then how? That's when you set like measurable. Is it measurable? Is it relevant? Is it smart deadlines? Excellent. So defining the power of why and how. Yeah.
I like this. If we continue with the financial freedom, which I really love in terms of that is success for me in 5 years. In order to get there, it's yes, the why, right? So why would I? That's one of my goal. That's one of my goal every year. I want to be more free than I was yesterday. But the why do I not feel that I am free financially? Because for financial freedom, for one person can mean different thing for another person. So for one person, it could be I want to be able to live by myself, live my parents' house, and rent a place, and have money to transfer or buy a car. That will make me feel like I'm financially free. I'm not limited in what I'm able to have. Anthony, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add something on like like what my boss have just said. One of them is there are three. I think you mentioned two, but there are three. There is what, how, and when. They all need to go together because when you're setting a goal without a timeline, then you might be lagging behind. Like for instance, if I want to have like a financial freedom, or like I'm setting a goal, in the next 2 years, I wanted to achieve. Maybe I want to become a business person. I want to have some mansions, rentals, and Then I'll say, okay, how am I going to do it? Then I bring the question of how am I going to do it? Then, okay, how am I going to do it? It's like I need to bring in resources, and I don't need to look into my salary. I need to bring in resources, diverse resources from outside into the business investment. So I need to invest this money and then make sure that I started by either one single room, and then I put it for rent. Then that one single room will bring in another one. Then I need to bring the point of when am I going to have the financial freedom? Then I can say, okay, after 5 years, it's when I'm going to have it. Then I will set this goal, I will reach there, and then I realize that by that 5 years, I have already achieved, I already have my rentals, I have business running, like if it's hardware, or I am having a place for internet, providing internet for people, and then like Wi-Fi. And I'm able to construct my own house, then the aspect of a car comes later. So this is like I was just putting a kind of an addition to the three words, which is what, how, and when. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anthony. And I think it goes well with the SMART goal breakdown, right? Because it's S for being specific, so clearly define your goal, M for being measurable. You need to set metrics for the success, achievable, ensure the goal is realistic, relevant, align with your broader vision, right? And time bound, set a deadline where it is, and I believe that's when you said the when. So if we were looking into someone that would want to have financial freedom, well, that is a broader vision. So then you have to define, you have to go back to the S, be specific about what it means for you. What will make you feel like you're financially free? So for, like I said, someone is to buy a car. Okay, buying a car means that you are financially free. Getting a house means that you're financially free. So now that you have your metric of for the broader goal, then you're able to look at how am I going to be able to achieve that? Is it something that is achievable, right? Based on where you are today, in 5 years from today, is this achievable? And okay, well, I need to find a job if you don't have a job yet, or I do have a job, but I need to find a promotion. I need to increase my income. How do I get there? How do I increase my income? Does it mean that I have to find a second job, or does it mean that I have to grow in my career, right? So it's that's when you go from a broader picture, and then you become really small in terms of the detail of that project, because your 5 years goal is a full project, and you want to be, in order to be able to achieve those, you need to have things that will help you guide your journey. For example, for me, it was, okay, let me graduate. And once I graduate, I know that I can apply. I know that I can be hired as a permanent employee. And once I'm hired as a permanent employee, there's a program for HR developmental. So I'll take that program, so I'll be able to become a senior HR advisor. So that was my goal. So working hard, making sure I'm graduating. Once I'm graduating, making sure that I already had that conversation with my manager, talking about my future in the organization, asking if it's a possibility, and if it's not a possibility, what are my options, right? What is option A, B, and C? So if it's not, I already need to have my CV ready. I need to make sure that I have a network that was so I can share my CV, share to people that I'm looking to become an indeterminate employee, make sure that I still have good reference with previous manager that I had before. That will help me become, in that area of my life, financially free and being a senior HR advisor. That was my plan, because there was a couple of things that I wasn't aware of. So as I was going through that plan, when time came for me to graduate, I think I got pregnant maybe a month after doing my last exam, but I was already able to have that conversation with my manager to know if she was going to be able to hire me and make me an indeterminate employee. And she agreed to it and made me sign the paper on the last day of my exam because she knew I was going to have that degree. So I became an indeterminate employee on base that I had graduated and I have the experience to become a junior HR advisor. So moving on, becoming pregnant in Canada, we have this beautiful health system where when you're pregnant, you go on maternity leave for a full year and you're paid for the year that you're off. So it didn't have an impact financially. And when you come back, your job still belongs to you and they're not allowed to give it to someone else for no permanent way, just to replace you for the time that you're on maternity leave. So when I got back, it was just like, okay, let's go back to my plan. However, I've encountered a lot of challenge. A challenge that I was not at all expecting. I've encountered challenge based on systemic racism. And also I'm a strong advocator. So when I was seeing Black person being discriminated or mocked at, I was not able to hold myself and I had to say something. So that also had an impact on my career. And also I did make friends, but I also made some enemies because I was speaking up for others, which was okay for me. I feel like it was okay. And it actually helped me get my next job because I saw a job poster, I'd apply on it. It was 4 level above me, but I learned by myself really fast. So I learned how to code. And I was even starting to code in the job that I was doing in HR, which has nothing to do with HR. And I was able to send my CV and present myself properly and reach for that opportunity that I've never, ever, ever thought that I could even have. And that is for me, that is a skill that people need to be able to have. Is as you're working on the goal that you've set, as you're working on the metric that you've identified, you still need to make sure that you're aware of what is happening around you. That you're staying up to date with the world, the workforce where you are, even if it's the business world that you are, you still need to be aware every day of what is changing, the trend that is happening, the news that is going that is happening, like everything that is happening on the news. You need to be aware of it so that you're able to pivot when things change. And that will either help you navigate a challenge or it will help you get an opportunity that you've never thought that you could have. And for me, setting deadline helps you stay focused, obviously, but it's all setting deadlines should not put you you should not use that to put you in a stressful condition. You should put this as, if my goal is to save $5,000 for the next year and something happened and then you have to spend more that you plan, it doesn't mean that you will not be able to achieve your goal. It just means that you need to pivot. You need to be agile, especially today. Things are going fast. Technology is impacting what we used to see as acceptable timeline. So you need to be able to be agile. So talking about challenge, talking about trend, what happens? So what happened in the world, how it impacts you. It's also asking you to be resilient and motivated. Celebrate your small win. Make sure that you know what you've been able to achieve, and knowing what you've been able to achieve based on your plan, and also things that you were able to achieve that you didn't even think about. That keeps you motivated, positive encouragement for my French. And yes, and focus on progress. Be positive with yourself because failure is easy to see, but it should not be the drive of your life. You should be able to motivate yourself and to see how great you're doing and build on that, build on being greater than yesterday, and comparing yourself to you and not comparing yourself to others, because each has a different journey, and someone's success, the journey they needed to go through in order to have success may not be something that you're comfortable going through, right? And staying connected with your purpose. Are you able to hear me? Yes, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I'd like to talk a little bit about sponsorship. Hello? I'd like to talk a little bit about sponsorship and mentorship. For me, I believe that mentorship helped me a lot in terms of professional growth, navigating complex career path, but also navigating my understanding of the workforce because I work in HR, but also of different organization where I work. So yes, I work for the public administration, for the public administration in general, at the federal level. However, I did different organization inside, and each of them had their own mandate. And because they had their own mandate, they have different type of skills. So right now, I work for Innovation, Science, Economic Development Canada. In my organization, we have the best engineers. We have engineers we have mechanical engineers, we have biology engineers, we have IT, data science, policy analysts. We have economics, we have a team of social media. So they are on social media, they are specialists in communication. Every program that the government of Canada is doing, that I said the name of my organization, when we said it's ISET, everything that I deliver on, we have a team of social media whose purpose is to make sure that every Canadian is aware of it, to make sure that they understand what it means, and to make sure they understand where to get the information they need to get in order to either grow their business, because we also take care of Canadian businesses. So everything that is with small business, medium business, corporation, Canada, even innovation, we're responsible of looking at how we're going to build Canada's AI institution. So we have different type of skills and professional. So as an HR professional, I need to understand the organization mandate, but we have within the organization, we have 13 different sectors who have their own mandate. So we have a sector, their mandate is to make sure that the spectrum of Canada, so for example, in order to have internet, you need to have access to a spectrum. We deliver license for spectrum. If something was to happen in Canada and everyone will lose power, we have no access to internet, our department is responsible to bring it back up and to investigate and to make sure that it's fixed. And if there's a conversation that needs to happen between our telecommunication business in Canada and the government of Canada, it happens within ISET. So when I speak to the head of that sector, I need to understand his business to be able to help him manage his resource, his employee. If there's an employee who needs training, I need to understand what type of training fits his organization and the skill that his organization is looking for, right? So I need to have this conversation. But I also realized when I was younger in my career that it's not just knowing what the business is, but it's also understanding the complexity at the level of the person that I'm talking to. The picture that executive have versus the picture that a professional have is completely different. We have tendency to advocate for what we believe should be the decision. However, they see a bigger picture. So they see as many people as you advocating for what should be right, but with their own perspective. And that is why sometimes the decision they make, we have a hard time understanding it or accepting it because we're not aware of what they are seeing outside of our own realm, right? So that's how mentorship really helped me out. having those time where I'm talking with, deputy ministers. With like a lot of respect, I ask them challenging questions. They answer me and they gave me challenging questions. They would look at my work and they would challenge my work over and over and over again. And so for me, it becomes something that I do by myself. And that helped me grow in my career. That helped me sit down in meetings and mention things where people didn't think about. Not because the deputy minister told me to think about that, but he trained my brain to know how to think. So I'm capturing all the information that I need. That is how mentorship is helpful. Having a mentor, even if you guys don't see eyes to eyes, it is important for you to have different type of mentors so that you are aware of how other people think outside of yourself, how people who don't see the same way that you see are thinking, so that you're able to have that in the back of your mind whenever if you're having a business, you want someone to be able to challenge your business objective. You want to have someone who will tell you, well, I don't think that you'll be able to make it happen because of XYZ. The moment they tell you XYZ, that's when you take XYZ and you study and you try to figure out, how can I shift? What do I need to change to make sure that I'm covering this? One of the things that I do a lot is also listen to a lot of podcasts that talks about the government of Canada, what is happening in the state, but also in technology and HR. That helps me see the potential of what our organization can do outside of my world, outside of my bubble. Sponsorship, which is much more, it's not much more different, but it is different. Sponsorship is knowing that you have people who will speak about you when you're not there in a positive way. You know that your founder, when he meets someone and the person is talking about something that might be of interest for you, he will say, oh, I know this person. Maybe you guys should meet and have a conversation. He's been a great person for XYZ. He's been able to achieve this. And that is sponsorship. But in order for someone to feel comfortable to be your sponsor, you have to present yourself, and you have to be able to present what you've been able to accomplish. This person, when they advocate for you, it's because they know what they've seen of you, they know what you're able to achieve, and they also know your weakness. You want your sponsor to know your weakness so that you guys can work on it to make you stronger or to find a coping mechanism. Everyone has weakness. There's no one in the world that doesn't have weakness. If you're not able to identify your weakness, you need to sit down and self-reflect. That is absolutely necessary to be self-aware, because you're making yourself vulnerable when you're not aware of your weakness. So that is for sponsorship and mentorship. Is there any question?
No, I guess there is no question in the chat. Yeah.
Well, oops, sorry. That was the last slide. So success is a journey, not a destination. Keep growing, learning, and connecting. Thank you so much.
We have a couple of questions from the chat box.
Okay.
Yes, so I'll just read them out. So we have one, I just start with the one I asked. So how effective is mentorship for somebody who is in a toxic work environment where the group is really just set upon? How effective is mentorship for such kind of an individual?
So it's effective, especially if your mentor is not in the organization where you work. And what I mean by that, so just to be clear, when you are looking for a mentor, your manager your supervisor is not your mentor. Your manager and supervisor is there to manage you and to supervise you. And sometimes you can be blessed with having a manager that is a mentor, but don't think that your manager has to be your mentor. So first of all, identify, okay, is the person who's mentoring you, is your direct supervisor in that toxic environment? If you think that your manager was supposed to be your mentor, well, you need to find a mentor that is outside of your team or outside of the organization. And the goal, and then set a goal with your mentor. Having conversation with your mentor can also be really structural, which would mean you would have a set goal. I like us to talk about moving outside of the organization or navigating a toxic environment. This is the situation that is happening. When we go to the office, I always receive bad comments. When I deliver work, if it's good, the boss will promote the work and say it's them who did it. If it's not, they're gonna throw me under the bus and say that it's on me instead of helping me. So by having that, your mentor is then able to provide advice to how to navigate this. Sometimes the mentor can tell you, document this. Document every single interaction that has been toxic. Make sure you have the dates. And if you have, in Government of Canada, sometimes we have an ombud, sometimes we work in a unionized organization, and we can then either put a complaint in or try to find another job. So if your goal is to find another job, your mentor will ask you to focus on something else. Your manager will, your mentor will ask you to focus on achieving specific goals so that you can put it in your CV and then apply for another job. And make sure that you're managing the relationship with your direct supervisor or with other supervisor who will be the reference that you will give for your next job. I hope that answered the question.
Yes, it was very clear. Thank you so much. I hope we still have Masheko on the call. Masheke, are you still on the call? Okay, so I'll just read their question. How do you handle rejection from people you look up to in the business? Like people you hold in very high esteem, but you get ignored.
Well, that is one, that is, it's really difficult. I had a situation, and I know it's recorded, but I had a situation where there was someone that I looked up to, and I even asked a person to have a coffee chat with, because I was starting a new job, and this person used to manage me and also give me advice. And I told her, oh, I'm starting this new job. Do you have any advice? And she's seen my work. And the answer of the person was, well, Lowa, you love shiny things. So I think you need to calm down, and you're always looking for the brightest thing. And for me, that I took it really in a bad way, because I didn't understand. There was no substance in what she was saying. And I then understood that this person didn't appreciate me the way that I appreciate her, and she didn't even understand that I was looking up to her. So for me, it's like grieving. It's like when you have a friend and then you realize a friend that is not really your friend. And it's also being, while you are disappointed at the person, you still need to show the best of yourself. You still need to show the bigger person. That is a failure of the other person. And do not look at that rejection as something that is wrong with you, but just look at, this was not, you've misjudged the person. You've misjudged the character of the person, and it is okay. It is okay. It's hurtful. That's why I say that you have to see it as a grief, but you still need to show up professional, be as friendly as you are, as professional as you are, and understand why did you judge this person as being someone that you should look up to, and what did you miss out to identify that this person is not the person that you thought it was, or this person was a person that would reject you. So that next time that you're looking up to someone, you have that in your mind and you're more careful about it. And that first experience of being hurt like that will help you build resilience, because that won't be the last person. People will like you, and then they will stop like you. And sometimes people will fake that they like you, and then at one point you realize that they do not like you. So it's building resilience, and make sure that you know who's your closest friend. And that's for me, that would be the advice that I would give.
That's really interesting. You mentioned that people will like you and then they won't like you. I feel like I had a similar experience. Immediately I got out of university, I started working. I thought my supervisor liked me, and then during, weekly review meetings, you see all those attacks and whatnot, and then you're thinking, I thought we're working together. What has changed? And it really just, hurt my self-esteem. I'm going for work, you go back, you're crying, you don't understand what's really going on, and that's really important to understand the relationship and dynamic that you have. That is a really great question. It has really encouraged me. I'll then move on to analyst Zawa's question. If she's on the call, she might want to elaborate on her question. So that analyst is on the call. You can go ahead and unmute your mic so that you can. Analyst? Okay. So her statement was, I am impressed that you applied for a job that was way higher than the job you had. What has helped you to build your confidence in your career journey?
What helped me build my confidence is working more than the position that I have. So a lot of time, you're hired to be, I was hired to be a assistant to HR advisor. A junior HR advisor is an assistant to a HR advisor, meaning putting the data. So, putting, okay, this person started working on this day, you go on the system and then you enter the data. And then realizing that, okay, the system is a little bit slow. How can I improve the process? And then reading about it, learning about it, and then providing like sample of how it would look like to my boss, and then having approval for that, but not asking a promotion because I'm doing more. I still build myself in the workplace. I do more than what is expected so that I can say this is what I've done. So that is what helped me build my confidence, because as a junior HR advisor, or a junior HR advisor, when someone reads your resume, they have expectation that of what you should be able to do because of what you were able to do, of what is expecting in the work description, right? But for me, I want to learn more. I love learning. This is a passion of me. I rather watch a podcast about project management, how do you build that, what to think about, than watching or going on TikTok. I'm not really a TikTok person, so this is what I enjoy the most. And for me, using all that knowledge and trying to test it in the workplace helped me build my own personal confidence on what I'm able to achieve. And when I saw that job poster, the reason why I was able to apply is I felt confident to applying is because all the description was things that I was already doing. So I was even surprised that I could be paid at that level for what I'm doing right now. So that's why I applied, because I'm like, oh, really? That's how much I'm supposed to be paid? Okay, I'll try and I will apply. So yes, that's that's how I built my confidence.
Wow. We now see how much, investing in yourself really get you the position that others could only dream of. So NLA says thank you. She's unable to unmute herself. I think she's not in a very conducive environment. But that's a really interesting answer. Because I've been thinking, because you find yourself doing a lot of things. So how do you align yourself to the career that you want to have? Because there's a lot of things you can learn on the internet. You can utilize the University of YouTube. But how do you keep yourself in line with, the career that you want? How do you not just acquire necessary skills?
For me, I used to believe, well, I used to have a vision of, okay, I want to be, like I said, a senior HR advisor, and I was like, oh, I want to be a manager. But the more I grow, the more I realize me, my personal, not to talk about the other leaders, but me, I like to build on skills. Like I look at things, and that's what I want to. I want to work on. I want to be better at understanding or building a strategy that is agile. I want to be able. I want to be better at doing a project management with cross-functional. How do you? That's what I'm currently doing. So how do I get this done? So for me, it's achieving those success that is something that is more attractive for me, and somewhat this is how it builds my career. So I've stopped being focused on the end goal of my career, but mostly of me, Lowa. What do I want to be able to say that I'm able to do, but also what makes me proud of myself? Is it the title, or is it what I'm able to achieve? For me, it's what I'm able to achieve. It's being able to say, I've been able to achieve this, that. I've been able to have an employee who was like barely performing and make this employee the rising star of my team. That is my focus. But by having that as a focus, this makes me a good fit for a leadership position. This makes me a good fit for an executive position, right? It's so that's I started reversing my mindset into how do I get there? It's not how do I get there, it's how do I become this type of person? How do I become more happy about myself? It's by helping others, but it's like helping others. So how am I able to help others? For me, it's building skill, it's building people. So by doing that, it's opening so many doors. And I stopped looking for the door that I like to be open, because I know doors will be open because of what I'm doing. So I focus on what I'm doing and putting love into what I'm doing. So that's how I started changing my mind, and it gave me much more opportunity that I could even think about.
So then, seeing that you've invested so much in yourself, and I heard when you are addressing Masheka's question, sometimes you find yourself, you have supervisors, you've done the work, you've done an excellent work, and they attribute it to maybe themselves. They say, "Oh, I did this job." How do you navigate around such people? Or how can you let your hard work be seen and not be, sat upon by supervisors or bosses that want to get the credit for the work that you have done?
When it's a supervisor, sometimes it's a little bit complex, because there is a reprisal that might happen, right? So it's you have to find a way to talk about the work that you've done, but that was praised under the supervisor, to others, right? So if you're able to, someone who's saying or stealing the work that you've done will never be able to provide as much information on the effort that was put in to get the work done. So if you're in a meeting and the manager's like, oh yes, this is what I did, and there's a question, there's always like a follow-up question, then you answering that follow-up question really quickly will let people know that there's more than him being able to accomplish it, right? It's learning how to navigate uncomfortable conversation when among people, right? How do you say, well, this is my work, not his work, without saying how this is my work and not this person? Oh yes, for this is what we did. Oh yes, for this is what we did. And you can even say, remember, boss, I said to do this and that for the specific area. So people would know. It will set a light to others and think about how the leader is sharing that they've done it, but they actually don't have as much information and as much detail as someone who actually went through the journey of achieving this project or whatsoever.
Thank you so much. You're really giving us timeless nuggets. If we implement this, we'll definitely make it in our careers. So a final question from one of the participants, Victor Lilanda. What criteria, I think this question is mostly targeted when it came to goals. What criteria do you use to evaluate whether a goal is realistic, given limited resources, time, or knowledge? How would you evaluate a goal?
So I think I think the person is on the smart the smart strategy. So I will share it. I can share my presentation with you, and maybe I will share my screen, but it's mostly here. So I'll do that quickly. So okay, so define your goal. If you have a goal and you don't have a lot of resource, either financial resource or time, because time is a resource. If you don't have a lot of time, it's to break your goal into mini goals, and that will help to define if it's actually achievable. If it's not achievable, then you have to redefine the goal. You have to find a way to achieve something that it will be satisfaction, that will provide you satisfaction, even though you have a bigger goal. And you have to be able to make the difference between a broader vision and a specific goal. Sometimes it's a small goal that will help you get to that broader vision. And you will understand how broad is your vision compared to how achievable is the goal. If the goal is not achievable, maybe it's part of the broader vision. Maybe you need to rethink about the strategy to get there, right? So that's how you could reassess and reassess your goal and see if it's achievable to get to a broader vision.
Thank you so much for those wonderful answers, straight to the point, and really they're given actionable steps on how to get to where one wants to get. I think we are done with the Q&A session. I don't see any more questions from the audience. So I'd like to call upon Mr. Enoch Tumene to just take over from here.
I see some hands. And please, happy. Can you ask questions? And others, we still have like 20 minutes, so others can ask questions as well. Don't be shy. Unmute and ask questions.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Enoch. Thank you very much, Madam Lowa, for the nice presentation. It is very insightful, very helpful for us as young leaders. So for me, I would like to add some contents from the world of success, that is achieving our goals. For me, I think in the process of being a new version of ourselves or achieving our goals, we won't skip rejection, as others asked about that thing, that how do we maybe overcome rejections when we are at the offices or wherever we are. So for me, I think we cannot achieve our goals if we don't face obstacles, we don't face anything that is very challenging. But the thing that we have to focus is to be positive in our mind, because when you start a journey of success, nobody will understand your ways. Maybe you can have 2 people or 3 people who can support you, but others could reject you. But you should not focus from the rejection, but focus on what you want to be for the future. Again, I would like also to add about making yourself better. As you said, how to make yourself better is to become, to be a learner always. We should learn from others who have already achieved their goals, because nothing is new in this world. So we are learning from others who have already achieved it. We have a lot of professors, we have a lot of leaders who they are in the communities. But for us, we are not a new leaders. So we should learn from them. We learn from their mistakes and we correct the mistakes and we come with the new ideas as we keep learning day after day. Another thing that I would like also to add is to understand who you are first. Sometimes we can just judge ourselves like, I'm not achieving these goals, maybe my time is over, but I really want to say that our time is still waiting for us to make changes. So we should understand, I'm a youth, I'm still a young person. I have a capacity myself to build myself better than yesterday. So it's for us and for all of us as youth to get this position of understanding who are we and what are we want to achieve. Thank you very much for the good time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Happy. I really like the way that you summarized everything, and I really agree with you. Thank you.
Habakkuk, I see your hand as well.
Hope everyone is okay. Zabakuk from Zambia. I just also wanted to appreciate the initiative that you guys are able to display. You know, it's not so easy living in a world where you have to pay people to explain to you how certain things they went through for you to succeed. But we have a platform like this where we can be able to share different things as we all come from different parts of the world, but we are here with a common goal. I think also as youths, it's very important to also have a positive mindset. We know we are in a world where we face different challenges each and every day. And in as much we can still look up to the people who are experienced, we also need self-confidence, which is very important. When we have self-confidence and also have faith in whoever we believe in. I don't know because of different backgrounds, but in whoever we believe in, which is God, I think challenges will be there. We have to accept that. But what is very important is us having a positive mindset and always remembering our goals. Just like our speaker today said, that small goals are also very important. Small achievements can lead to something big. So thank you very much. Just looking forward the next time when we can hear more experiences and more insights to keep us going.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, perfect. So I want to share a little bit about the realities of workplace. Most people, there's, people follow the conventional politics, but the real politic happens in the workplace. So to be successful, you need to understand the politics of workplace. One, realities you don't want to hear, but that's real. You are very replaceable. So you are not dispensable. That's number one. It might be very hard, people say work hard so that you become hard to be replaced. No, you are very replaceable. That's number one. Number two, never take things personally at workplaces. Now, someone asked about the boss, taking the credit to the boss. One thing you have to understand that we are humans, and humans respond to two things. One is advantage and danger. And we are emotional beings. People like to be talked about good, and credit. And there's always a fight for power. So if you're a junior employee and have your boss, learn how to balance, how to play power politic. Learn when you should confront. Never confront your boss, because it switches from professionalism to personal. It's a power threat. And that's why best employees get fired. Why? It's not because they're not performing at the job. There is more to performance. And two, relationships. Your role at work is not just go in the morning, go back in the evening. Create relationships. Politique, yeah? Team working. Create relationship. Those who matter, those human beings like your bosses, create relationships. And how you always see that you are very hardworking, you show up very early at work, but you don't get a promotion. But someone who's not sluggish in their work, wishy-washy, they get promotions or get a better pay. The reason is not about you being smart and performing. It's more they have unlocked the power of relationship building. Talking well, balancing of relationship, the power balance. Whenever you feel a threat, your boss can create anything to fire you, or to demote you, or not to increase your pay. So don't take things personal. Everyone is fighting for position, but how do you think ahead? Number three, know when to go. Know when to go. Don't wait to be fired. Know when to go. And I will show you signs that people want you to go. Number one, if you're a senior executive, they reduce your roles. They take some of your roles. It's a sign that you need to go. Number two, if you send emails and your boss takes 2 days to respond, it's a sign that you need to go. Yeah? Start looking for better options. And don't never share a lot at work. Keep things personally, because at the end of the day, they will use all that information against you. Avoid another important thing. Avoid small talk at work with others. You talk about your boss, you talk about everyone, you talk about everyone. At the end of the day, you will. Real power is in mystery. Remain a mystery. Remain in your power. Remain a mystery. In remaining a mystery is not because you appear and reappear, disappear. Is keep certain information for yourself. Don't encourage like group discussions at work, talking about others. So if you understand those dynamics, you succeed so well at work. Never take things personal. Everyone's fighting for position. You are very repressible. It's not your grandfather's home. It's not your mother's home. You can go anytime. Know when to go and start looking for better opportunities. And the best time to look for another job is when you're having a job. And fourth is share less about yourself. Remain a mystery. That's the politics at work. So it's not about you being right, so right and confrontational. You say, this is my point. You are hurting emotions. Know how to balance those emotions. And I think with those few remarks, I think if people have some more, I'm open. It's open for discussion. Yeah.
And I think I just want to mention that is true. And I think there's also an impact on the Western workforce versus the African workforce, where like for me, every time that I had a job, a new opportunity, my boss became my friends. All of my boss became my friend. And when I have job interview, I stop looking for a new job. I always tell people, don't shop for a job, shop for a manager. Look at like when you're having an interview, try to assess the manager leadership. The government of, as an employee of the government of Canada, we do have a much more advantage in terms of like losing your job, right? In order for my boss to make me lose my job, I mean, they need to document a full, not even a year, like I think at least 2 years of mistakes. I have to do something really, really extraordinary bad to lose my job. However, they can make hell for me every day, which will make me go on sick leave.
Yeah.
And they will be happy with it, right? But it's having that my mindset, and I tell it every time that I'm open, like once I say yes to the job, just before saying yes to the job, I tell my direct manager, the way I work, I'm a loyal person. Your goal will be my goal. Your vision will be my vision, which means that sometimes we will not see eye to eye how to get there. And I want to be comfortable having those challenging conversations, because if my goal is your goal, the purpose of the challenge is not to show you that you're not doing it right. It's to show you this, from my perspective, there's things that is missing, or from my perspective, that's maybe not the best route. And you need to be able to have that conversation so we can get to the goal together, right?
Absolutely.
So that is how I work, and that is how I present myself. But it's also because I gain a lot of experience, but my experience are beyond my 9 to 5. My experience is, yes, I go to the office, but also I network a lot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of mentors. Some mentors, they don't even know that they are my mentors, but they are my mentors, right?
Yeah.
So I bring all of that, and I'm like, I'm willing to be your best friend at the office, but you have to be mine. We have to be loyal. And if you have something that is going on with your own boss, I will make sure that when the boss, because sometimes the boss will like skip the person that they were for, so the director will skip my manager and come to me. I will make sure that whatever you said, it's what I'll say. So we have the same, like it's the same message that goes back. So that gives us much more power in the influence that we can have, right?
Yeah.
So it's really important to make sure that you know who's your manager, and if you're able to be that right hand, that loyal person, most of the time when this person get another job, move up, they always bring people that they know they can trust, because there's no success with one person, right? So be sure that you understand who's your boss, and are you being loyal to your boss? Is this a person that you feel comfortable to be loyal to? And that will bring you to different places. That will open doors for you and for the manager. And like today, I had employees. I've been supervising employees before and things like that. And I have employees where if I have an opportunity and a promotion, that is the person that I would call right away. They are always in my mind, even years later on. And sometimes I call them and I wanted them to come and join my team. But when they explained to me what they're doing, I told them not to come, because I saw how much opportunity they could have where they are.
Yeah.
And I was loyal to them, as this is I care about this person beyond just the job, and I want the best of them. So yeah, know who you're working for and with. That is really important.
Excellent. Yeah. And if Elizabeth?
Yes, I have a question. This is a really interesting topic, and it's really touching home. And my question is, there's this saying that's going around that the most talented and hardworking people in their workplaces don't usually get promoted, because why would they want to replace you? They have more work placed on their tables because they're hardworking, they're doing things on time. So they want that. They want to keep that person there. They don't get that promotion because they want to keep them there. How do you navigate around that? How do you work hard, or how do you not show yourself as hardworking to a point where it doesn't affect the quality of your work, but then you don't have a lot of work being piled up for you because you're doing things quickly, you're working, you're meeting your deadlines, you're doing everything perfectly, so they don't feel the need to actually put more work for you to do and keep you at the same level without affecting your career progression.
For me, it's to do something that is beyond that 9 to 5, beyond the work that you're doing right now. It's okay if they're not giving you more work because you're working too fast, the work that you're doing is really great, they want to keep you there. That's when having a network is so important. And having a network means being like doing things like being part of this foundation, right? So this is extracurricular. It's not, you're not being necessarily fully paid as your salary as the one that you have on your everyday. Participating in different organizations, going to network events, that are things that you can also add in your CV because it is experience, it is things that is required to do in different jobs in different organizations. And also it gives you access to people that you would never thought that you would meet and that are willing to hire you. So make sure that your network is big enough so that you're not stuck in your organization in order to be promoted or to be successful. That is really essential. You need to have more than your 9 to 5. You need to do beyond your 9 to 5 if it's something that if you feel like there's no progress being made. That is really important.
That's very true. And to add on, Laura, is most people you say who are very good, like they're very committed and something. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them lack people skills. And lacking people skills is, yes, you're good at your computer, you craft your work very well, but there is more to that. There is a human touch. So how do you bring the human touch? Is creating those connections even at work. Let your boss see that you have some leadership skills that you can be upscaled, yeah, as well, solving issues. So it's really how you connect with people. At the end of the day, be excellent at work, but also add the human touch, leadership skills, solve problems and take responsibilities. Then that way you will the people, because people promote leaders. They say, can this person solve issues? That's very, very important as well. Actually, people who get promoted, they are not necessarily technical like skills, but they are very good with people. They are leaders. They encourage. They show vision. They pave the way, and that's the most important skill ever you would want to cultivate in. So you're not a robot. That's the difference between a human being and a robot. A robot solves something they give it. A human innovates and sees the future, So that's what I would say as well. Yeah.
Is it possible I can do some addition?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure, Anthony. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted to share something with my colleagues who are online, and first thing I want to say thank you so much to our speaker for today. A brilliant presentation. I love it. It's what we need to take home. As you are leaving, always when you're going from here, you need to take something home so that you go and dilute it and you work on it. But looking at the personal, because the intention of the African Rebirth is for a personal growth, personal development. So you need to look at the personal development. Personal development, of course, is a continuous process of self-improvement in various areas of life. And of course, one thing that you need to know, as some of us, we need to know as youth, is we need to set clear goals. We need to define our short-term and long-term objectives. One of them is what we just discussed earlier on. You need to use the SMART framework. Of course, it's a specific, measurable, the achievable, relevance, and time bound. We need to have it. And as a person, always we need to know. We need to develop emotional intelligences as at your working place. So we need to practice self-awareness to understand our emotions and triggers. And then we need to improve on empathy, that's actively listening to others and understanding their perspective. So we need to manage our stress. And this is one thing at work sometimes that brings problem is stress. You go to work when you're stressed, you end up messing up with your job, with your boss, arguing because you're stressed, you fight anyone. Without distinguish between this is a boss or differentiating between a boss and a junior staff. So we need to manage our stress and respond to challenges calmly and rotationally. Another thing we need to know is we need to cultivate a growth mindset. There's what we call growth mindset. We need to embrace challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. The challenges we face today, we must take them as opportunity to learn and grow. So we need to also view failures as stepping stones to success, not as setbacks. So if you are failing today, do not think that this is the final thing. Take it as a stepping stones to success. And then tomorrow you'll be someone better. And then you need to believe in your ability to improve through effort and persistence. Your ability is what you need to know that you need to believe in. Take it, carry yourself like, yes, I think I can deliver it. I can do. I have the value. I have the qualities. Then you move on. So these are the things that you need to know. And then time management is also important to some of us because some of us we are not bound with the time. We don't have relationship with the time. We are always late. But time management is very important. We need to use tools like calendars, planners, time blocking techniques. We need to have it. If you don't prioritize time management, then you are always definitely going to have problems with your boss. Eliminate distraction and focus on one task at a time. If you are given a task like today, you are given an assignment, make sure that if there are distractions around here, eliminate those distractions, focus on the class, make sure that you learn something and you deliver the assignment given to you. This is one thing that we need to know. And then the communication skills, we need to enhance our communication skills. We need to practice that active listening to understand others better. And then we need to work on public speaking, self-constructive feedback to define another thing. That's one I wanted to say. And it's really unique that we are all here. All of us are youth and we are learning from each other. Build strong relationship. Like now, me and can build a strong relationship. How do I do that? I need to surround myself with the supportive and inspiring individuals. That's where the mentorship comes from. And this is where the relationship, of course, network with the people who share your values and the goals, not someone who says, you cannot make it in life, you are a failure. Yes, it's okay to take those words, both negative and positive, and work with it. But you need to make sure that you need to network with people who share your values and the goals. Foster meaningful connections through mutual respect and trust. When you're given an assignment, you need to make sure that you do it and then you are getting a trust and important. Another thing is a focus on self-discipline. Discipline is what some of us are lacking. Commit yourself to goals and resist temptation that leads to distraction. Create system and accountability measures to stay consistent, reward yourself for achieving milestone to maintain motivations. Like
Thank you,
discipline is what
Anthony.
you say. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I know.
Thank you,
It's
thank
okay,
you.
thank you otherwise.
Yeah, I know you can continue elaborating in the group. Yeah, but let's wind up a bit and let's give our guest, appreciate our guest for her time and expertise and sharing about the best things you can do. And these best things can help you build your future for better, and for better. And thank you very much, Laura, for your time. I appreciate. I call it best because these are the things people from the very foundation miss. And when they are up, they're confused, they don't know where they're going. So could you close with a few remarks, things that we shall never forget? Yeah.
Well, I
And we
like
have
to
some French speakers. You can bring a little bit of French as well. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'd like to first thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to I'm part of the diaspora, right? So I am African, but in Canada, and we have a lot of association in university, in workplace, but to be able to reach and talk to the all of our brothers and sisters that are in Africa, it's really great. I really hope that this foundation continues to grow I mean, I will continue to share on my social media, making sure that, that the organization has the opportunity to be seen by at least my network, and that my network can reshare so that you can grow. I strongly believe in building bridge between that. And for me, I would say, like, I hope that I was able to at least give you a little bit of insight into what to focus on while you're going through this journey called life, right? Um, try to self-assess yourself and see what have you missed out on, and how can you pivot yourself to put yourself in a better situation. Make sure to have a mentor. I think that's something that is really essential. Make sure to have at least two mentors, and those two mentors, they don't need to know each other. You don't even need to let them know that they are your mentor. But this is helpful, because me coming here and presenting and talking about this, you may remember a couple of things, but having a mentor will have you a direct contact that you can always reach out, so that they can help you reassess yourself. They can help you reassess your strategy. They can help you pivot, figure out a way to navigate a challenge that you're going, like a concrete, tangible challenge that you're going through. So that's something that I really hope everyone takes the time to do: self-assess and finding at least two mentor while you're going through this new journey, and believe in yourself. Just the fact that you're here today and having that conversation and being part of this group already says a lot about you, already says a lot about your characteristic. We're all here because you believe that by being together, there's something that you can do for others, that you can do for yourself too. So I really hope I was able to give a little bit, contribute to your journey, but thank you so much, because this has been a real pleasure for me.
You very
Et en
much.
français, merci beaucoup à tout le monde. J'espère que si jamais vous avez besoin d'informations en français, je peux toujours vous partager l'information en français, mais pour dire, prenez le temps de vous trouver un mentor, et prenez le temps de vous réévaluer au travers de votre parcours professionnel, et même parcours personnel, mais surtout le parcours professionnel. Trouver un mentor, c'est vraiment important, c'est vraiment quelque chose qui a de la valeur ajoutée. Donc, c'est ça.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time, and everyone, please appreciate her and her time and expertise. I hope the greatest lies in implementation. So let's implement the few words, wisdom, and that we've achieved today. So I appreciate your time. Have a good time in Ottawa on the weekend, and see you soon. Yeah.
See you soon. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone.
So about tomorrow, I just want to let you know about tomorrow, and then we can call it a day. So tomorrow, very important. Let's be there. We'll be having group discussions, of which we'll be introducing group working committees. So you see these wonderful ideas, or what we want to do. It won't be achieved when it remains there in the space. I think we learned today about setting SMART goals. So it's the SMART goals lies in the realization, or in the working committees, what we want to achieve, partnerships, personal growth. And I spoke to 40 people, around 40 people, or 45 plus. But the most important things, one is leadership, communication, networking. So people want to know about Africa, want to know about each other. And we can't do it without letting people meet and talk and share and form group discussions. So please, tomorrow, be there. It's very important session, and it will set the tone for our next event. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Over to you,
Thank you.
Elizabeth, and appreciate Elizabeth for
Thank you.
moderating the panel very well, taking the time to share.